Alright guys, here we go. This is section 1.4 and we're going to talk about solving equations. Hopefully you're like, yes, I know how to do this. And I promise it's not going to get much harder than what you already know. So let's start off with just some examples. I'm not going to give you any vocabulary or anything because basically we're trying to find the value of the variable that makes the statement true. So for instance, x plus 3 equals negative 5. We want to know what value of x makes this statement true. So we know we have to do the inverse operation. You have to undo what's been done to x. So there's a 3 being added to it. I want to subtract 3 from both sides. So x equals negative 8. And then we go back and check our answer by putting negative 8 back in for x. So negative 8 plus 3 equals negative 5. It works. Do you have to check? You don't have to show your check, but like I said at the beginning, the beauty of math is that you never have to be wrong. You can always check your answer and find out if you did it correctly. Let's try another one. This one involves the distributive property. So we're going to go negative 27 plus 6y equals 3 times y minus 3. I have to get used to this board with the equal signs. Okay, on the left side you can see there's nothing to do. There's no combining like terms because there are no like terms. So I'm just going to bring that down. On the right side we're going to do the distributive property. So we're going to multiply the 3 by both members in the parentheses. So now we have a constant and a variable on one side and a variable and a constant on the other. We need to get all of our variables to one side and all of our numbers to the other. Personally, my preference is to move the smaller variable. So here we have a positive 6. Here we have a positive 3. I'm going to subtract 3y from both sides. I like to do the variables first. I don't know why, it's just a preference. You could do the numbers first if you want, but I prefer the variables. Okay, so now all my y's, all my variables are on the left-hand side. So now I have to get all my constants to the right-hand side. So I'm going to add 27. And divide by 3. So y equals 6. It's important to note that 6 is the only value of y that would make this original statement true. And again, if we plug it in, you'll notice that 6 times 6 is 36, and 6 minus 3 is 3. So on the left we have negative 27 plus 36, which is 9. And on the right, we have 3 times 3, which is 9, which makes this statement true, and that's why y equals 6 is the solution. Okay? Let's try a word problem. Actually, I'll draw a picture. You have a rectangle whose length is 3 times its width, and whose perimeter is 200 meters. Now remember, perimeter is the distance around the outside of a rectangle. So if I were to trace this rectangle, it would be x plus 3x plus x plus 3x for a total of 200. I'm going to leave the m out because that's just a unit. And if I put m here, that could confuse me because I would think it was another variable. So we'll just add the units in at the end. Okay, we're going to combine like terms here. So we have 1, 2, 5, 8 x's. Oops. Equals 200. Divide by 8. And x equals 25 meters. So that means that the width of this rectangle is 25 meters and the length is 75 meters. So that's that one. Now there are two types of equations that are a little bit different. Let's show you one. The first one is, let's see, 11 plus 3x, I don't know what number I'm on, I think this is 4, but 11 plus 3x minus 7 equals 6x plus 5 minus 3x. Combine like terms on this side. The like terms are the 11 and the negative 7, so that's a 4. And the 6x and the negative 3x is 3x. So now when I subtract 3x from both sides, I end up with negative 4 plus 0 equals 5. Those totally cancel out. Well, negative 4 plus 0 is negative 4. And I'm going to ask you, does negative 4 equal 5? Well, of course not. That means there is no value of x that you could put in here that would make these two sides equal. Absolutely no value of x. So this is what we would call no solution. This equation has no solution. Okay, let's try another one. 6x plus 5 minus 2x equals 4 plus 4x plus 1. Remember, this is an equal sign. Combine like terms over here. Combine like terms over here. Subtract 4x. So 0 plus 5 equals 0 plus 5. 5 equals 5. That is always true. 5 will always equal 5. That means no matter what value I choose for x, both sides will be equal. And if you don't believe me, try it. Put in 100 for x. Let's pretend x is 100. 6 times 100 is 600 plus 5 minus 2 times 100 is 200. So this side equals 405. 4 times 100 is 400, plus 4 plus 1 also equals 405. And I just randomly picked 100. I could pick 20, I could pick 30, I could pick negative 10. Any value of x will always work because both sides of the equation are identical. This is called an identity. Since both sides are identical, it's an identity. And we say that the identity has infinitely many solutions. Or in other words, all real numbers. That's the solution to this equation. Try these yourself. 7x plus 6 minus 4x. (12 plus 3x minus 8). Solve this equation. Pause the video. Solve the equation. Well, what you get on the left is 3x plus 6. And what you get on the right is 4 plus 3x. When I minus 3x from both sides, I get 6 equals 4. This is never true. So my answer would be no solution. Okay, try this one. 2x plus 3 times x minus 4 equals 2 times 2x minus 6 plus x. This is an equal sign. I'm having a lot of trouble making equal signs. Again, pause the video and solve. I know right now that because 5x minus 12 equals 5x minus 12, this has infinitely many solutions. Or in other words, it's an identity. Or in other words, the answer is all real numbers. Any of these answers would work. It's important that you understand that no matter what you put in for x, it will always be true. Okay, a couple more problems. Now we are going to talk about equations where you have to solve for a given variable. So for instance, v equals s squared plus 1/2 sh for h. Now this is tricky. These are kind of hard, but this is really important in science because you're always going to have to be able to do this. So we're going to practice a lot of these in class, but see what you can do by yourself. See if you can solve for h. Now what I would do is subtract s squared from both sides. So I have v minus s squared equals 1/2 sh. I still don't have the h by itself. It still has a couple things. To get rid of 1/2, we can multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So we have 2 times v minus s squared equals sh. And now we can divide both sides by s. So 2v minus 2s squared all over s. That's your answer. Now some of you are going to want to cancel the s squared and the s, but remember you can't cancel something that's part of a binomial. If it's being added or subtracted, you can't cancel it out. If it was just this, then you could cancel it out, but as soon as you put a plus in front of it or a minus after it, now you can no longer cancel it out. So make sure you understand that. Okay, that's pretty much it. We're going to practice a lot of these in class. See if I should give you any more examples. I think you're probably sick of hearing me talk. Here's my riddle for the day. A farmer has 36 cows and 28 sheep. How many did not? See you tomorrow.